Hi, I'm Joe from Reclaiming Jesus, and this is another edition of A Few Minute Message. And I'm coming to you from my home, and I'm wearing a t shirt, so I got to apologize about that. I would like to get a little more dressed up for these, but I'm just kind of lazy, and I have a message that I really want to get out to you guys today. What I want to talk about is the men on the ship with Jonah as he tried to escape God. Now, we all know the story of Jonah. He's told to go to Nineveh and tell them that they're going to be destroyed if they don't repent of their sins and turn to the true God. Well, Jonah didn't like that. See, the Ninevites tortured and hurt the Jews, and Jonah didn't like that at all, so he didn't want to help them. So he gets on a ship and heads to Tarshish, which was in the opposite direction of Nineveh. He was trying to run from God. Now we know the rest of the story. There's a huge storm that almost destroys the ship. The men in the boat can't do anything about it. And Jonah ultimately gets thrown overboard, swallowed by a fish for 3 days. He gets spit up on the shore. He goes to Nineveh, tells the people there and the king that they have to repent, and they do, which is awesome. And they're forgiven and they're not destroyed by God. Well, that causes Jonah to sulk, and there's other things going on there, but that's a story for another time. What I'm focusing on right now is the men that were on the boat with Jonah. Now, as this terrible storm came up, they were scared, and they were worried, and they thought they were going to die. And they prayed to their gods, but obviously that's not going to do anything because they don't exist. And they talk to Jonah, and Jonah tells them, it's my God, the true God. It's causing this because I'm being disobedient. Well, while they do throw Jonah overboard, which is what he requests, they also turn to the real God and offer prayer and sacrifice to him. And we don't know any more about what happens to these men, but I like to think they had faith in the true God till the day they died, and now they're residing in heaven with him. And I think that I think that would be the case, and because I think what happens is for a lot of people, you get to these positions in your life where it's life threatening or harm, things are life threatening. A lot of harm could be coming to you. Things are scary, and you turn to God. And these men probably didn't know anything about the true God until they talked to Jonah. But they took that on faith because when the storm's going on and their gods couldn't do anything, Jonah offered a solution, which was the true God. And then when they obeyed God, and threw Jonah overboard basically for his punishment for disagreeing with, or not disagreeing, but disobeying God, things got better for them and they lived. So I like to believe that that was a long lasting lifetime event for them. And then it's one of those things like a cancer in the family or a serious job loss, financial hardships, sickness, divorce, maybe. Those kind of things that often turn us to the Lord, I think happen for those guys. And now some people might think it's kind of tough that, well, God created the storm and ultimately, that's what caused them to come to the Lord. So why did he have to scare them so badly? But I think as humans and we live in our sin and we reject God and we don't want God, sometimes God has to get tough with us and he has to push us to a point where we're going to seek him and earnestly seek him and truthfully seek him. So I think for the men on the boat, that's what happened. I think God used a disastrous situation to bring them to his love. Is that cruel? I don't think so, because the alternative is an eternity without God and eternal suffering. So while yes, it's God does have to give us tough love sometimes, I think it is love, and ultimately that love that He has for us, and if we accept it, will bring us true peace and happiness when we die, and we spend eternity with Him. So I just recommend you guys read the book of Jonah. It's pretty short. Go over a little bit and think about those guys that are in there, and as well as the Ninevites. It's a very interesting story about them as well because they do repent. But that's all for now. You have a good day and God bless.